The holiday season is upon us. We're going to catch up on what's going on with me, Dan,
and me, Christy,
on this episode of the Taking Off podcast. Hello and welcome to Taking Off. This is our podcast. We're kind of on a special release here because it has been a very crazy schedule. I've got Christy on the phone. She's been very busy, so it's just hard to take the hour drive that she has to do to get to the studio. But lots going on, and I have not been able to get podcasts out. So, Christy, we missed 2 weekends with podcasts not playing. What do you think about that?
I don't particularly like that. And I know that me calling in is not the audience favorite. I've noticed a lot of comments like seeing us on the YouTube version of our podcast, which is flattering, I guess.
Yes.
But at the same time...
I have no cameras running right now, so I'll be using still photos that I'll be putting up for the YouTube version of this podcast.
So what Dan is actually trying to say is that he's in his pajamas and he didn't want to get dressed.
No, I've got the really good mics here, so I'm at the studio working really feverishly hard on the computer. I've been editing. It's just been incredibly busy, but not on Taking Off stuff. I've been barely getting that out. I usually will have a couple of weeks of videos preloaded, ready to go for the In the Hangars, the pilot stories, and right now with In the Hangar just released 29 minutes ago, I have 0 preloaded at YouTube for the Taking Off channel.
Wow, that's really weird for you because normally you have at least 2 or 3 ready to go.
I try to get ideally I get a month ahead. So, with 2 and 3 videos a week, we're talking 12 to 15 videos I try to have preloaded. So yeah, I'm behind the 8 ball here, and see, by doing that,
what's going on? Why are you so behind?
Well,
talk to me, Dan.
There is a new aviation network that is in its infancy, it's about to be born, to be in its infancy, but it's called Arrowverse, and this is the brainchild of a fellow aviator who wants to see a dedicated aviation network where you can go to get strictly aviation programming. And he was surprised that nothing out there was there for all aviation. So he's developed this called Arrowverse. And initially we're going to start this as an app, a video on demand app. It's called VOD. And you do the subscription thing, and it'll be a small amount. And they're licensing, they're getting a whole bunch of different people's content, putting it up there that's aviation. Alaska's Ultimate Bush Pilots, new space adventure, different things like that. First flights with Neil Armstrong. In addition, they'll have a bunch of the YouTubers out there like Mike Patey and Josh Flowers, Aviation 101, Baron Pilot. Yes, you go, well, I can get that on YouTube for free. True, it will be ad-free for all of that. In addition, they're working on original shows that'll be exclusive to Arrowverse, and that's what's taking up my time right now. They've contracted my company, S Films, to do 2 original shows, and it's been exciting, it's been fun, but it has been time consuming.
So are we hiring anybody for editing?
Yeah, that's the hard thing, is that I have 2 other editors on staff with my company. The problem is that you really need to be a pilot to be able to edit these programs. And so I'm having to pretty much do it all. It's the same problem I had with the Taking Off channel. I could hand some things off, when we're doing like the Pilot Life with Christy series, when we're doing some of the others, I can hand some of that stuff off. But when it's specifically you're looking for B-roll and they're talking about, wing spar, my editors don't know what a wing spar is. So it's a challenge in that regard.
Yeah, that sounds like a specialized editor type job. I can't help you. I don't edit.
Which, by the way, we are dangerously close to having your 145 episode ready.
Okay, thank you. That was my next question. Because that's what I'm so proud of. I don't know why. I never flew the 145, but being invited to go on one of the last ferry flights for the 145 and, just getting to experience that, learning about the history and how important and special this airplane was for the growth and history of American Eagle. I mean, that's huge for
Yeah.
me. I'm very sentimental about it. So I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah, so I had an editor who kind of did the basic edits, but then going in, they talk about the difference, the birth of the 170, then the 175. They talk about the 145, where it came from, and my crew, not being pilots, just don't really understand what kind of B-roll, what kind of footage and pictures to cover that, and so I've had to take over the editing, and of course, I got almost done and then slammed. So,
Yeah, I understand.
I've got to I got to get a pilot. Actually, we do have a pilot story that's pretty much ready to go, and it's a real special one. When we shot the video with Martha Lunkin, I got her to do a pilot story, and so that's been edited together, and so I'll be able to upload that for Friday. But man, I'm behind.
That stinks. Well, I
What's
don't
going
have
on
the
with you?
exact same problem. Yeah, I don't have the exact same problem that you do, but definitely staying busy. But it's by choice, honestly. So I'm getting ready to be upgraded to a captain
Okay.
here in the next few months. And so basically what happens is once you hit a certain time threshold, you are eligible to be upgraded to captain. But about once a quarter, what winds up happening, at least on the regional airline level, is because we are so short on captains, um, they will displace captain qualified first officers into the captain seat. So this last displacement happened at the beginning of October, and I was just under that threshold. So they didn't get me. What I decided to do was go full send, and now I'm just fly, 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 fly as much as I can. That way I've got a lot of hours and a lot of experience to put toward that captain upgrade, because the next displacement is going to happen probably the beginning of January.
Okay. So
And when that happens,
explain to
go
me,
ahead.
not being an airline pilot, and for those in our audience that are not airline pilots, I would think that you would want to upgrade to captain as soon as possible, but that is not the case. Tell me why.
Well, it's not the case for me. For some people it is, but for me it's not because right now I'm a very senior first officer, which means I get all the perks of seniority, which means good, vacation bids, good monthly lines when I bid for my trips. It means, getting my overtime requests approved over those that are more junior to me, et cetera. When I upgrade to captain, I'm going to be a lot more junior. So right now, just to put it in perspective, I'm number 20 something in as a first officer in DFW out of about 400 first officers. When I upgrade to captain, I'll be like number 300 out of 400 captains. So
But is the
yeah,
pay
so
worth
I
it?
lose. Well, see, that's the thing. With the whole pilot shortage at the regional level and all of that, we got a pay bump, about a year and a half ago. And as part of the new pay bump, um, they said, "Hey, first officers, when you hit 750 hours with the airlines, you get to move to captain pay." So ever since I've been at 750 hours, I've been on captain pay.
So when you switch over, you're going to lose your seniority and you're not going to see any pay increase.
Correct. Because I've already received
Oh,
that pay increase. And
right.
if
Okay.
you really want to think about it from a grander scale, I might actually be taking a pay cut because right now I get to pick up a lot of overtime and stuff. My seniority means I can hold more of that OT. Like I can hold the, longer trips and things like that for my overtime requests. That goes away when I'm a junior captain.
Right. Okay.
So I won't be making as much money, believe it or not.
how quick it seems like this was a big issue when you first started, and I remember talking to you about the quality of life issues, but it seemed to be a very short time before you did have enough seniority to have a better quality of life. Will you be having a better will you move as fast when you switch over to captain?
No. And that's the thing that a lot of people don't realize. See, as a first officer, again, right now, I can't speak for 10 years ago or even 10 years from now, but the way it's been the last couple of years, you get in and you can be a first officer for as little as 1 year. People are either moving up or out. They're either moving up into the captain spot or they're moving out to other airlines. And so with the first officer seat, it moves a lot quicker. I got senior really quick as a first officer. As a captain, it moves a lot slower because now I've got captains that are staying with the company for a lot longer / the lifers. These are guys who decided to stay with Envoy and not flow to, mainline, not go to any other airline. They are at Eagle for the entirety of their careers. And I want to say there's probably around 75 or 100 of those guys.
Oh, wow. So a quarter.
So, I mean, yeah, exactly. So in order to move up into those captain spots now, you're literally waiting for people to retire.
Okay.
And that's the way it is at the majors. Typically at the majors, or I guess before this whole pilot hiring boom, you got there and then it took forever to upgrade, and then it took forever to build seniority because again, the only time people leave is when they're retiring or they medical out or, they leave the industry. Because typically once you upgrade to captain at at the legacies, you're typically not leaving. Unless you're forced to for whatever reason. And so that's why the progression at the legacies has moved a lot slower. Now, this day and age, it's moved a lot faster. You've got those retirements happening a lot quicker. People are moving up into the captain spot a lot quicker. And so the progression as an FO is propelled forward at the legacies, but it's done that even more so at the regionals. And you've got a smaller pilot group to deal with at the regionals as well. So my seniority as an FO is just skyrocketed, but then as soon as I go to captain, it's definitely going to slow down.
How is seniority ranked? So you talked about how you're trying to build a bunch of hours right now. So I'm guessing seniority isn't the day you make captain. How is it determined?
Your date of hire with the company. Your in-dock day.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So when you switch over to the captain's chair, you won't, out of 400, you won't be number 399 or 400. You'll be up a little higher.
Correct.
Because there's some captains who may have gone before you, hired after you, but made the switch before you. You'll still be.
Yeah, my friend.
Them.
Exactly. My friend Joey is a perfect example. Joey was hired after I was. He's about 30 seniority below me in overall company seniority. But he was one of those guys that just wanted to get to the captain seat as soon as he could. He's got his reasons for doing that. And so that's exactly what he did. He upgraded to captain, I think, about a year and a half after he started training. So within a year and a half, he was at the captain seat. In fact, he preferential bid for the captain seat. He didn't even wait to get displaced. He just wanted to get into the captain chair. But when I upgrade to captain, I'm going to be more senior than him.
Okay. And what are the
So he's actually going to move down in seniority. Right. He's going to move down in seniority because I'm going to take another spot. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So what are the requirements? So if he went from a year and a half from training to the captain's chair, what are the requirements for sitting in the captain's chair at a regional?
Just the hours requirement, and then you have to go through upgrade training. So the hours requirement is 1,000 hours. You have to have 1,000 hours of 121, which is airline time. You have to have 121 hours of airline time to be to be considered a pilot in command of an airliner. And so we do that at 950 hours because once we get through the upgrade training, we go on the line, but we're with a line check airman for 50 hours.
Okay.
So that gets us to our 1,000 hours. And then once we do our line check and our Fed ride, boom, now we're a pilot in command. Now we are the captain.
A Fed ride, what's
So
that? Is a check ride with a
um,
DPE?
sort of. It's with an FAA representative or a designated like representative for the with the airline itself. It's a line check basically is what it is. It's like a fancy check ride. They watch you do just a normal line flight, and if you pass, congratulations, you're now a captain.
I see. And at that point you wear the fourth stripe, or do you wait? Or did you
Yes.
put it on
No, you
earlier?
could. You can wear the fort. You're sitting in the captain's seat. So even though you can't log, PIC time, you are acting as a captain. You are effectively training to be a captain. So you're wearing that fourth stripe once you start flying with the line check airman.
So the line check airman is the pilot in command. He's the one, or she is the one with
Yes.
the responsibility on. Okay, interesting.
Yes. But they're sitting in the right seat acting as an FO.
Okay.
But they're helping train you. Think of a line check airman as a CFI for the airlines.
Okay. And you're heading towards that route, aren't you? Of being a line check airman?
That's what I would like. That's what I want to be when I grow up.
Okay.
So,
right.
fun fact: we actually have not been very public about it, but Kevin was actually promoted to a line check airman a couple months ago,
Nice.
and so
And
every single trip except one. And it's funny because that's the trip he was on with me. I didn't get booted off the trip. I got to keep the trip. But every single trip he's had since he became a line check airman, except for the one, he's had line check airman duties.
wow.
He's had a student with him in one way or another. Mm-hmm.
So he's short of time. Or he hasn't been in the captain's chair very long, and now he's moved right back over to the FO chair to be PIC as he's the line check airman.
Well, he's a line check airman. So the line check airmen not only do the captain upgrades,
Oh, they could
but
be
they
doing
also do
FO.
brand new.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So like this week, he's got a brand new FO that he's going to be working with.
I
So
see.
he'll be in the captain's chair, and his FO, of course, will be in the FO seat.
I see. Okay. Well, then that explains why you might want to wait to get to the captain's chair. I guess seniority doesn't matter because it's not from the date you become a captain. It's back to the date when you join the company. And is that pretty much the way it is in most of the airlines? Do you know?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Everything. Yeah. Everything is seniority driven that way. It's all based on data fire.
All right. Okay. So how busy are you going to be going into the holidays, in the holiday season?
Fairly busy. Because I mean, a lot of it though, it's not necessarily work driven. Honestly, a lot of it is like personal stuff, domestic duties, airplane owner things with the Warrior, the Flying Club. So all of those things typically keep me pretty busy, but you get about, I don't know, 50% busier around the holidays because now we have holiday activities, with like Kevin's family, for example, with Mitchell, with the Flying Club. We do our annual like Flying Club event and for the holidays. We call it our membership appreciation party. So we've got that coming up and, just a lot of stuff going on.
You're at the airport right now. You're working on the Wong Warrior. You had a lot. Tell me about. I got a text this morning from you saying that you need a new landing light. Let's reach out to Z Vision. What's going on?
Yeah, so apparently my Wheelan LED light that I got, probably about 4 years ago or so, developed some cracks in the lens. And with it being rainy and marginal and whatnot, the airplane's been doing a lot of flying lately. Club members have asked to go up and do training. They want to do training in actual IMC, which I'm all for, as long as there's no icing, as long as they have a double eye with them. Absolutely go get that experience. Unfortunately, the cracks, I guess, in the lens led to moisture gathering in that lens there, and we think that it shorted out the LED light. So now I need a new one.
Well, it'd be great to get a Z Vision, that's XC Vision light in there, and we can do some videos and testing and show people how bright that is, because I actually have a landing and taxi light new in box that I'm going to be putting in Lola here in the next couple of weeks for the same thing. And he's developed a way to make those a lot brighter than the Wayland or the Arrow something LEDs, mainly because he's able to deal with the heat differently. So I'm excited to see both of our planes get these bright lights.
Yeah, no, I think it'd be great too, especially since they've been a really dedicated sponsor to the channel and stuff.
They have,
I didn't need to use them previously because I had a perfectly fine working LED landing light. But now that this has come up, I think this is a perfect opportunity for me personally to test drive it so that I can give my own personal testament.
Yeah, I agree, and it'll be really good. Speaking of sponsors, Christy, we've got a new one that's a temporary, and we're kind of testing it out, and she's testing it out to see if it works. And so for you listening in the audience, if you have a need for a watch, an aviation watch, check out Abington Watches and use our discount code. You'll have to go to YouTube, the YouTube podcast link for this, and click in the description because I'm going to preload our discount code in there, but you can go and order a watch. If it's not for you, maybe it's a gift. Abington, I met her at Reno, and you've met her before, Christy, too, right?
Oh, yeah. We've actually met at several events previously. The first time we met was actually at Oshkosh.
Well, she's an incredible person in the aviation community. She's been a 121 pilot and all that, but she saw that there wasn't really a good aviation watch for her years ago, and she created this company out of that need, and she went on the Shark Tank, but she's been building it, and it's been really good. And I met her, and I thought, this is perfect. That she's the good. You talk about trying to partner up with the good people in aviation, and she's definitely one of them. So, for you listening, again, I'm testing this. We are testing this with Abington to see if it works. So, if you're interested, go check it out. If you buy, it would absolutely help support us. And, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and we'll move on. But I do wish Abington all the best, because this is exactly kind of what we're doing with our sponsors. Good people, good aviators who, make a great product. So, by the way, Christy's sitting here. She sent me a watch for you, and I've got one for me.
Oh, so, did she?
Yeah. So I need to get that to you, and I'll try to show off mine on any of the new videos we make. So use our discount code Taking Off. If you don't click the link, I just don't know exactly how that works. But that's our new sponsor, new test. We'll see. It's temporary. We're just going to do a short time here and see how it works.
I think it's kind of a cool idea, honestly, because being a female in aviation myself, I've noticed that, 90% or more of the aviation related items out there, such as watches, even uniform shirts and things like that, they're all tailored for men. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I am fully aware and I understand that this is a male dominated field. So I've learned how to adapt, even the shirts and the jackets that we get for work that they say, oh yeah, this is, tailored for women. They're not. Like, I actually have to go get them altered and whatnot to fit properly. And like all the aviation watches and stuff out there, I've never been able to find one that was for women. So I've always just worn my Apple Watch because I can kind of customize it and, make it my own. I've kind of turned it into an aviation themed watch,
Right.
But Abington has done a great job of taking kind of that like niche subject or topic, if you will, and being able to customize it or gear it toward women. So it really is a wonderful idea. I like it.
And she does have some men's watches because I've got one. So I do want to say that.
Oh, I thought you were going to wear one of the girls' watches. I thought you would have looked great. Oh, come on.
And if you don't go to the YouTube description to click on the link, it's Abington. There's no T in there. So it's ABINGDON Co, as in company. So abingtonco.com. Use our discount code Taking Off. All right, Christy.
Perfect.
That kind of brings everybody up to date. What's going on the channel? I'll try to get videos out. I've actually got some ideas for some new kind of investigative videos, like we've done with John Denver and Payne Stewart and others, that I want to run by you, Christy, but I won't do that on the air. I think you'll like the idea, but I just got to have the time to do them. But anyway,
I know. See, that's the problem. I've got a lot of ideas and I want to do more stuff. I've kind of taken a step back because I know you're so busy. There's just, I mean, I've been waiting for like 6 months now for this 145 video to come out. And so I see how busy you are. I mean, seriously, it's been 6 months. I see how busy you are and I respect that. So I've kind of pumped the brakes and we've been doing our podcast and releasing whatever, but I haven't written any more scripts or anything like that either yet. Cause I figured, I'm no offense, like what's the point in writing a script for something if I know it's not if you can't touch it for months,
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of writing it out.
Yeah. I would say still write the script because I'll always fit it in. I always seem to just.
You said that about the 145 video.
Well, we did. We shot it. You wrote the script. We shot it. We fit it in as far as the shooting. It's the editing that it gets backed up. But
I know.
But I would rather have it in the can because, like, if I do find that I've got a little bit of time, like I did 2 weeks ago to almost finish the 145, if we don't have it shot, then I can't almost finish the video. So it's always better to at least have it in the can, as it were.
That's fair. Okay. Well, then I guess once we get past this, holiday hump, then I'll start writing some more scripts.
And the Arrowverse launch, which the goal is to launch this video on demand app on December 17th. And I think you know why December 17th.
It's a fairly significant date.
It's a significant date in aviation. It'll be the 120th anniversary of the first flight at Kitty Hawk.
First powered flight.
First powered flight. Thank you. Powered flight.
Yeah, I was going to say, you have to make that distinguishment because people flew before-ish.
People jumped off cliffs. Yeah, they did.
Well, there were the balloons and stuff like that. Yeah. They did gliders and whatnot. No. Powered flight. This was revolutionary.
The anniversary of powered flight. We're going to launch the Arrowverse app, and I'm going to try to talk the main guy behind the Arrowverse into doing the next podcast. So I'm hoping to have him on next week. And as we get geared up for that, and they'll probably start doing pre-sales for the app just to get things going. We're inside of a month now on the launch. So, but once we're through that, maybe I'll have a little bit more time to do some of the editing. And also I have been reached out to by a couple of pilots who are editors. So I've got to keep, it's just a matter of having time to work with them and everything else. So that's the trick.
Understood.
All right. Well, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget about our new sponsor, Abington Watches. Also, our trusted, I won't say old sponsors, but the ones who have been supporting us for now several years, like Flying Eyes. If you go to flyingeyesoptics.com, use our discount code, taking off all caps. One word, you'll get 10% off. Great glasses for any headset or helmet that you might be wearing. Also, Colton Mortgage, coltontakingoff.com. Marshall Protective Services, mpsprotects.com. And Jerry, let me say this too, Clemens Insurance. I know I'm talking a lot about the sponsors, but for a reason. Christy, 20 years ago, my kids were much younger, so I went ahead and signed up for a term life policy, and that thing matured. Actually, it matures right now. And so I started looking at other life insurance companies to try to do maybe another 10-year one or something like that. I forgot about Clemens Insurance, so I called Jerry. Sure enough, he does life insurance, and the prices that he's able to
Interesting.
Well, here's what happened: is I called the company that matured, right? So I go through the questionnaire, I go through the medical, and they had quoted me one price, and I had let them know about the aviation activities. Apparently, that's something with life insurance companies. And they increased the monthly amount by $100 when they found out about that, and they added an aviation rider exclusion. So they found out I do aviation, and they raised my race by $100, and they won't cover aviation. So Jerry said that's crazy, and he's got me something that's $100 less and covers aviation, because that's what Jerry does at ClemensInsurance.net. So and then Z-Vision, we talked about them earlier, xevision.com. So anyway, guys, thanks for listening to us catch up. Christy, thanks for taking time from working on the Wong Warrior to chat with us.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure. Sorry I had to call in, guys. I know it's not your favorite, but it's necessary at this point.
All right. Thank you, guys. And we'll see you next time, either on the channel or in the podcast. Take care.